Hi. So ኤልሻዳይ here ያለፈው ጊዜ ካቆምንበት ጀምሮ የሚቀጥል ቪዲዮ series ሰጣችኋለሁ ብዬን as promised ይሄው እዚህ ጋር እንጀምራለን. So last time we had just finished bits and bytes አይደል? So data types ላይ ነበር ያቆምነው. ከዛ ጀምሬ አሁን እዚህ ጋር explanation video ሰጣለሁ and there will be an accompanying assignment. So online course management system actually I think it's Moodle check out it. Okay, so data types in ምን ማለታችን ነው? types in we're talking about a type of information አይደል? የሆነ ኢንፎርሜሽን እየተሰጠን ነው like ስለ ታይፕ ስናወራ like የዴታ ታይፖች ነው እየተነጋገርን ምን አይነት ዴታ ምን አይነት ኢንፎርሜሽን የሚለውን ነገር so ብዙ ዲተርሚናንቶች አሉ ከነዚህ the main ones are bits any type of information computer ውስጥ communicate ለማድረግ ምንድነው ብለናል ones and zeros ነው የምንጠቀመው right so it will be some form of binary string right and then እሱ ደግሞ ከሳይዝ ጋር ይሄዳል አንድ ላይ how long is that string ምን ያህል ቢት ያስፈልገናል ያንን ኢንፎርሜሽን ኮሚኒኬት ለማድረግ right so we've seen ለምሳሌ በ 2 digit binary number I can show 4 different things right but if the space of things I want to show is ለምሳሌ 10 ነገሮችን 10 የተለያዩ ነገሮችን ያላቸውን ነገሮች ኮምፒውተር ላይ ኢንፎርሜሽኑን ማስቀመጥ ፈልጋለሁ ለምሳሌ it could be let's say 10 ከአንድ እስከ 10 ያሉት ቁጥሮች right or it could be 10 characters star backslash forward slash እያልን 10 ነገሮች ኮምፒውተር ውስጥ ማስቀመጥ እንላለን so if I need 10 things then like how many digits do I need if I do 3 digits of binary it's 8 if I do 4 it's 16 so I need at least 4 bits ማለት ነው ይሄንን ኢንፎርሜሽን ኢንኮድ ለማድረግ so ሳይዛችንም ማተር ያደርጋል different data types have different sizes because requirement ይኖራቸዋል each type on how much information we're trying to encode and then there's context ማለት እንግዲህ ምንድነው how you read the information it matters because the way it's stored on the computer is very neutral አይደለ ኮምፒውተር ውስጥ አስቀምጠው እንደዚህ ብዬ ነው ማስቀምጠው ይሄን አይቻችሁ አሁን ይሄ ምን ማለት ነው ስላችሁ it's just ones and zeros it could be anything right but the context matters ለምሳሌ ይሄንን I want to read it as a character I want to read it as a number I want to read it as an image I want to read it as a video see how I interpret context the context of reading እንዳለ ማተር ያደርጋል ማለት ነው on the type so these are the three things of type ላይ ያሉ we have different types of types የሚለው እንግዲህ just ይሄ በኋላ in programming ላይ በደንብ ስንገባ ይመጣል እንጂ here we're just trying to loosely cover it primitive typeዎች የምንላቸው like በጣም basic level ላይ type ያሉ like character integer ምንላቸው ናቸው with complex types you combine these primitive types in different ways to create more complex types like ለምሳሌ a string ምንለው ነገር it's like a word or a sentence can be a string and it's a combination of characters it could be like things like arrays different types of objects a combination of information የሚጠቀሙ ነገሮች ማለት ነው so you'll cover this more later but this is on data types ማለት how information is stored on a computer and how we understand it የሚለውን እንትን ይላል describe ያደርጋል ማለት ነው just how we get our information okay so እሱን cover ካደረግን በኋላ now we can talk about char ወይም the character type character ስንል ምን ማለታችን ነው we're just talking about a singular character, right? አንድ ቦታ አለኝ እዛ ጋር የምጽፈው ነገር ማለት ነው። ሶ ለምሳሌ ይሄ this is a character, this is a character, this is a character, this is a character. anything አንድ ቦታ ወስጄ የምጽፈው ነገር ካራክተር ይባላል። So there are different ways, systems of encoding characters. Again, when we talk about encoding, ምን ማለት ነው? Encoding just means taking info and storing it in a particular format. Storing ብቻ ሳይሆን representing ይሻላል አይደለ? And in computers, what is this particular format? Binary. So characteroችን let's say I have a list of characters that I need to have in my computer. Then I need to have a conversion system from those characters to a binary numerical system, to a series of ones and zeros የምቀይርባቸው systematic የሆነ way clash ማድረግ way ማድረግ ያስፈልገኛል። So these are encoding systems ያለን. We have ASCII and we have Unicode. We have some others actually. These are just the most relevant to mention. ASCII stands for American Standards Code for Information Interchange. It's a mouthful. But essentially, ASCII encode የሚያደርገው which characters ነው? ከስሞል a እስከ ስሞል z ያሉትን ABCD እስከ z small letter. ከቢግ a እስከ ቢግ z ያሉትን. See how they are different characters? For example, a is not the same character as a. These are two different characters. And then it encodes ከ0 እስከ 9, the numerical characters, and then a bunch of other symbols. ማን ናቸው እነዚህ? Like could be what, could be እንዳልኩት dot etc. So ለእናንተ exercise ምንድነው? Look up the chart. ASCII chartun that shows you each character that's represented by the ASCII system and which number it's mapped to. So each of this is mapped to a particular number. Lambda particular number, because if I say like for example the big A, the numerical and then it's mapped to is 65. 65 is the numerical representation of the character A. Once I have 65, what can I do with 65? I can represent it in binary. I don't know. Because this is just 65 basis of way, it is my representation of the number now. I'm saying this is numerically 65 no kalkuኝ, I can write it in binary. And I'll have a binary representation of the character 65. Okay. So, same thing with Z, same thing with 0 to 9. Each one of them have their own distinct numerical mapping or numerical counterpart. Numerical counterpart in its binary format is the computer representation of this character in ASCII ማለት ነው። Empty space they are encoded. ለምሳሌ if I say A and then space cat, what are the characters? There's big A ziga, there's space ziga, there's C, A, T in big letters. እቺ 65 ትሆናለች. The space character in ASCII is 32. That's the code. And then ከA እስከ Z, capital A እስከ Z in order ነው የሚሄዱት. A 65, B 66, C 67. So this is 67. Here we go back to 65. T ጋር እንግዲህ ቆጥሮ መድረስ ነው። So let's say I had a file on my computer. File ምን ብዬ ጻፍኩኝ? A cat ከዛ አዲስ መስመር ላይ B. ይሄ ፋይል in the computer binary representation ምንድን ነው ብዬ ስጠይቅ on the computer ምን ይመስላል ብዬ ስጠይቅ what's your first order of business? Let's say I've told you that in ASCII represent ተደርጓል ይሄ ፋይል ብዬ. What you do is you find the ASCII counterparts for each of these letters, including the space, including the new line. So cat ብዬ ስጨርስ አዲስ መስመር ላይ ሄድኩኝ አይደል? That is a character, the new line character, right? It's represented by \n computer ላይ. That's also considered a character. It has its own ASCII representation, and then b አልኩ. So መጀመሪያ let's write it out simply in its integer. A is 65, space is 32, and then cat 67, 65. Let me look up ASCII code really quickly. Okay, so there's an ASCII table you can find on the internet, right? That will help you with this. So the capital T is 54. I'm sorry, 54 አይደለም, 84. 84. And then the new line is 10. አዲስ መስመር. The new line character, numerical value 10 ነው. It says it now. And then B is 66. Right? So now, what do? I just convert each decimal to binary. እዚህ ጋር የጻፍኳቸውን ዴሲማሎች to binary. ለምሳሌ, do you remember we covered last time how to do 65? Like a binary representation, we just keep dividing by 2 አይደለ? እነዚህ ነገሮች ላጥፋቸው. Maybe that would be helpful though. Let me make another page. Okay. So each one of these should go directly into a binary representation. Yeah, 65 binary representation. እዚህ ጋር just as a review ቶሎ እንስራ. 65 ለሁለት ሲካፈል so 32 ይኖራል. And then I have remainder 1. And then I go 32 ሲካፈል ለሁለት. I have 16 remainder 0. Because I have 16 ሲካፈል ለሁለት. I have 8 remainder 0. Remainder 0 ሲካፈል ለሁለት is 4. I have 0 ሲካፈል ለሁለት is 2. Remainder 0 ሁለት ሲካፈል ለሁለት is remainder 0 ሲካፈል ለሁለት is 0. Remainder is 1. Right? So the binary representation of 2 3 4 5 this is 65. Right? So የመጀመሪያው how my file starts is 1000000 and then I do the same thing for each one. Right? So if you see a question in your assignment that asks you to show how a particular file with a certain amount of characters encoded in ASCII is stored on the computer, this is your process. This is the process you do ማለት ነው. ኮምፒውተር ላይ ሲቀመጥ as a series of ones and zeros ነው የሚቀመጠው እንደዚህ. አሁን ለምሳሌ ግን like the next 65 BA 32ን ልጻፍ ስል this is the code for 32 1000000. This is for 32. I have to know where to cut these off. አይደለ? እዚህ ጋር ቆርጬ አንድ ካራክተር ነው እዚህ ጋር ስቆርጥ ሌላኛው ካራክተር ነው የሚለውን ኢንፎርሜሽን እሱን ኢንፎርሜሽን ማን ነው ዲተርሚን የሚያደርግልኝ? Now I said again size. We talked about size, አይደል? So somewhere in the computer it's stored that says one character is X bits or more likely X bytes. Right? So if I know like a character is always represented by 8 bits, for each character 8 bit ቦታ ይዛለሁ 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 እዚህ ጋር 7 ይወስድብኛል። 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 አንድ ባይት ነው ከተባባልን እነን 8 ላለው እነን ሌላ 8 አለ። ከዛ I can always ለምሳሌ ይሄንን 8 ቢት ውስጥ ለማድረግ ምን እንደማደርገው እዚህ ጋር 0 ጨምራለሁ። so 0 1 0 0 0 0 0 1 ይሆናል ማለት ነው። the same thing with this እየቀጠልን እንሄዳለን። so this is how you would work with ASCII. So with Unicode ASCII እነዚህ represent የሚያደርጋቸው characters they're 127 characters in total. What do we notice about these? እንደውም ለኛ it should be easy to see it right away. It's only encoding the Latin alphabet አይደለ? ሀሁ ይሃስ አይደለ? የሌሎቹ ቋንቋዎች እንትን ካራክተሮችስ አፖስትሮፊ ምናምን የሚፈልጉ ካራክተሮችስ there are a bunch of other characters used around the world that are outside of these small set of these 127 characteristics. So Unicode እሱን ነው እንትን የሚለው it's a vast እንትን encoding system that holds within it a bunch of characters used around the world. So look into that in the self work ሊሆን ይችላል just looking into Unicode. UTF ምናምን ሲባል አይታችሁ ይሆናል in various intents. These are it's referring to encoding systems. It has variable size. It could be 16 bits, could be 32 bits. It depends because the more information you need to encode, the more bit digits you need አይደለ? So yeah. So a useful exercise, and this will be an assignment as well, is to think about how many bits you need to encode 127 characters. And that's that's the end. So in the next video we'll do numerical data representations on the computer, integers, signed integers, ways of representing signed integers, and floating point representation. So thank you.